You may remember that we covered a story where two teens got into a private hire vehicle and started vaping, and then the private hire vehicle driver got worried and actually drove them to the traffic police on the expressway. He actually wanted to drove them to the police station but saw traffic police on the expressway, so that was a faster route. So that happened on May 18, 2025, and now we know that on May 22nd, 2025, the Health Science Authority (HSA) raided the homes of both teens. From one teen's residence, 54 vape pods and 3 e-vaporizers were seized, and no vaping items were found at the other teen's home. And lab tests confirmed that some of the seized vape pods does contain Etomidate, a potent anesthetic classified as a controlled substance under the Poisons Act, not intended for recreational use. Take note, possession of Etomidate laced pods carries penalties of up to 2 years imprisonment and or a fine of up to 10,000 Singapore dollars under the Poisons Act. Both teens are currently assisting the HSA with ongoing investigations. Just a brief recap, the private hire vehicle driver got worried because the teens started vaping in his vehicle, and they started having stuttered speech, slurred speech, staggering, and we don't even know if there are any harms in secondhand inhalation of the fumes of Etomidate laced vape pods, right? So there's something that we want to have further context on. And now Health Minister Mr. Ong highlighted the dangers of Etomidate laced vapes, which can cause permanent organ failure, hallucinations, and have been linked to fatal accidents and unnatural deaths. He also mentioned that out of 100 tested vapes, about 1/3 actually contains Etomidate. So now the MOH, Ministry of Health, and MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, are working to list Etomidate as a Class C substance under the Misuse of Substance Act, treating its abuse similar to other hard substances, with implementation expected in weeks. So everyone, let's continue spreading awareness. Breaking news, 2 workers were stranded on a gondola outside Raffles City Tower, Singapore after a metal cable snapped, causing the gondola to tilt almost vertically between the 28th and 29th floors. This happened on 21st July 2025 around 11:20 am during a routine facade maintenance. Allegedly, one of the workers fell from the gondola, but from this picture here, as you can see, 2 workers can be seen clinging on for support by their safety helmets, one at the top of the gondola and one at the bottom of the gondola. So, the cause was a sudden change in weather led to a stop work order. However, while retracting the gondola, it tilted due to the cable failure, one of the cables snapping, though all supporting ropes remain intact and the workers are wearing safety harnesses. The gondola also had just passed a safety check in June 2025. The SCDF Singapore Civil Defence Force responded at 11:20 am with firefighters and the Disaster Assistance and Rescue Team (DART) DART involved. DART set up rescue equipment on the 29th and 30th floors and secured the gondola with safety lines before a rescuer descended to retrieve the workers who were wearing safety harnesses once again. Both workers were safely brought into the building through windows on the 29th and 30th floors by around 12:30 p.m. Both workers have been accessed by SCDF paramedics found to be stable with no injuries and taken to Raffles Hospital for medical check-up. Raffles City Singapore has issued a statement emphasizing on workplace safety and is investigating the incident with the gondola vendor. All FB user Mel Yap did was told the PMD rider that, please dismount from a PMD and push it on the pedestrian overhead bridge. But what she got instead was... This is your last story of the day, follow us for more. Okay, first of all, you got to start off by saying that bicycles and PMD are not allowed to be ridden on pedestrian overhead bridges, okay? Cyclists and PMD users must dismount and push their devices across these bridges. This is to ensure pedestrian safety, as these bridges are designed primarily for foot traffic. So, FB user Mel Yap 49 was out with a group of friends, going about their morning walk on a pedestrian overhead bridge near Block 124 Pasir Ris Street 11 at around 7:15 am on July 13, 2025, when she noticed a PMD rider on it. So she requested to the PMD rider, please dismount and then push your device. But allegedly, the man, described to be in his 20s, ignored her request and continued to ride his PMD, across the bridge, and it was quite narrow, even though FB user Mel Yap said that she and her friends were travelling already in a single file, but it was still quite cramped. And that resulted in the PMD allegedly knocking into her, causing her to fall, and take a look at her injuries here, resulting in cuts and bruises on her arms and knees, and she incurred about $150 in medical expenses and have lodged a police report. Investigations are ongoing. The medical expenses is a small amount, but the question is, even 12 hours later, she is still saying that her wounds are still bleeding. And also, the bridge in question does have a no riding sign on it. Apparently, this bridge has been often used by riders, be it on bicycles or PMDs for their daily activities or even for work. As you can see in some of the photos here, taken by, shared by Shinmin Daily. Ending it off, Mel Yap made a very good comment in her interview. She said that, what if it was an elderly person that was knocked down? As you know, elderly people are very fragile and they can't withstand fall. Any fall can potentially be fatal. So, if you are bike users and PMD users, just please be more aware of where you can ride your devices.